Let's start.
Where we last left our heroes, the Tree of Ravens, the Unkind that was remaining, had entered into a race across land, air, and sea in an attempt to battle up against Kurtz, one of the people who has betrayed your party. Him and his carriage, aptly named the Raven, to cause as much emotional damage as possible, were doing exceedingly well in this race, consistently sticking in first place and giving the business to everybody who decided to come to his side of the shores. Karrith had found an opportunity as the Green Thumb. Oh, hi. We've switched modes apparently on the tens unit, and now we're just gonna get rolled apparently. As the Green Thumb had extended a little wooden bridge across to the Raven, Karrith saw his opportunity, hopped on the wooden bridge, and jumped over to the Raven, hiding amongst his stuff. The Raven, realizing that the pixie duster, keeping in kind with the Tree of Ravens, was closing quickly behind him, lit a stick of dynamite on his cigarette like a badass that he is, and threw it off the back, only to find out that it was smacked into the water by Karrith instead of reaching its emotional target. At which point in time, Kurt squared up with Karrith. You hopped on my ship. We're already fighting. Let's do this. Let's cut some bitches. Karrith, I gave him the stare down while Razzik was keeping. Razzik and Nyphix were trying to keep pace with all the other racers and with everybody else. And Eelix was setting up for his icy bomb of death. It was at the moment where Kurtz went, all right, you guys are causing a lot of problems, and if you're not going to step up to the battle and fight me, you'll find out that apathy is death. You can stand by while I barbecue your friends. And Karrith, not willing to let the past repeat itself, ran up, grabbed a hold of Kurtz, and simultaneously infected him. As the worms proceeded to get inside of him, the battle started taking place on side of the Raven as well. Karrith had gone down. We got to the air zone, and Nyphix leapt off the back of the wagon and started proceeding towards Kurtz. At which point in time, Karrith, getting overcome with the emotion and the worms and the nat ones, simply said to Kurtz before Nyphix had grabbed him, "Congratulations," and began laughing. Nyphix, on misunderstanding it with another nat one, thought that maybe Karrith was laughing to show that this plan is kicking off without a hitch. We've actually managed to get him, and this is a great distraction. And as she grabbed a hold of Kurtz and felt something crawl inside of her foot, she realized it wasn't quite what she had seemed as well. She floated up into the sky, and Kurtz greased himself, getting back down to the wagon, knocked out Karrith at least once during this entire event, where he then helped Karrith get back up. And Nyphix fell in the water as the police came and apprehended her greasy ass. Razzik had gotten blasted to the point where he went unconscious. Eelix had taken control of the pixie duster, and while at first struggling to keep everything in check, managed to bumble his way through it into second place. And the Raven, along with Karrith and Kurtz, are driving off and into the unknown. So with that, Death, just remind me, are you still unconscious?
I would assume so.
I think you were on 2 successes, 1 failure, if I'm not mistaken, judging by these notes.
Yeah, that seems right.
All right. So, with that said, let us rejoin you guys. And I'm going to try my best to click buttons while I'm being shocked. Okay. First of all, Eelix, you are well aware of Nyphix getting arrested by the Fuzz. You watch them pulling her out of the water, throwing her on board the boat, and now they've all begun high-fiving each other because they have managed to gather a high-value target, and they're planning on taking her in.
Yes.
That's behind you. In front of you, you see driving away on the Raven, the race now over, Karrith and Kurtz. As Karrith is pretty battered and beaten up. You know he's limping on by whatever he has left. The main hull of the Raven's chariot is covered in grease, as is Karrith, who's holding on. What do you do? Also, while you're deciding what you're going to do, I'm going to go and shut my door because all I hear is the polka dance theme song from my wife's phone.
Well, I'm definitely going to try something of the lines to rescue Nyphix here. I'm debating which route I want to go with that. I'm either going to hit that area with sleep, shake her awake if everybody falls asleep, and get the heck out of Dodge. Or, you know what? We tried a charm person before, and it didn't work very well. That did not have the result I wanted initially. I'm going to hit that area with sleep. If she falls asleep, that's okay.
All right.
Because I can just be like, hey, wake up. Let's get out of here. Because, yeah, I'm not going to follow two people. I am not a combat-forward character. I am more of a let's mess with people type control.
So I will alert you that the amount of guards that are there, a sleep spell isn't going to put a whole lot of them to sleep.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just a couple that had her.
Yeah, there's roughly 4 to 5 guards on that vessel, and sleep puts 4 hit dice worth of creatures to sleep.
Gotcha.
With a will saving throw negates and a spell resistance.
And I got Razzik with me, right?
You got Razzik with you, which, by the way, Razzik, make a death saving throw. Which means Nate, make a death saving throw for Razzik.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do to help them?
Help Razzik?
I mean,
Yeah.
I have healing potion in my backpack.
Once the dice likes to work.
What was that?
I think I have a healing potion in my backpack.
Can I feed them that healing potion?
Yep, and that would negate the death saving throw if Nate doesn't up. Nat, you won't even have to worry about it. With that, Razzik has 3 successes and 1 failure. He will wake up with 1 hit point.
Okay. And then,
No, I do not have one. But yeah, all right. So I'm awake with 1 hit point. Well, that wasn't very nice.
we need to do something here. Nyphix she got pinched by the fuzz.
Why don't we kill them?
There's a lot of them over there, and they're the city guard. I don't know
Also,
I got like probably 4 or 5 more of these 3 flash of oil tied together. Well, why don't we bomb flash of oil on them and then I'll light it on fire?
I will alert you guys that this is a Sophie's choice moment. If you save Nyphix, Karrith will be gone. If you save Karrith, Nyphix will be gone.
Yeah. I'm more concerned about the people that I have with me than the one that's getting away. Could always track them down again.
I'm more concerned, honestly, that like if they arrest Nyphix, they're gonna take her to the jail, right? And we know where that is. If that dude flies off with Karrith, we don't know where that is.
All this is true. Well, we still have to help Karrith here, who's down, right? Or are they up?
Karrith is awake with 1 hit point.
Okay. I mean, I would prefer not to split, because I don't think we have the ability to take both of them down. We might take one of them down if we catch up, but I don't think we're going to win in a drag-out fight between the 2 of them and us, as battered as we are and low-spelled as we are.
Yeah, I burned up all of my scrolls and all of my level 2 spells.
Yeah. So I would much rather rescue our teammates at this point and then go back after them after we have time to regroup. We can always track them down. Yeah, it might be a massive pain, but we could track them down. Now, if that means rescuing her on the road as they're transporting her versus doing it right here, that's something we could do, like an ambush. If they're going to transport her by wagon or something, we can set up, take out the wagon, get her out of there. But we definitely need to
It's going to be challenging to pull off with 1 HP, though.
Yeah, so we need to get Karrith. That's first of all. Need to link back up with them. And then, yeah, we need You said there's like 5 of these guards?
Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to take them in a straight fight.
And you're watching them high-five each other. They're chest bumping. They are straight up dude broing away on that wagon.
I don't have.
You watch the two that chest bump immediately start flexing afterwards. And there's
Yep.
only one that's like really kind of keeping his calm, his cool, and his pressure about all of this.
I wish I had some illusions. Do you have any illusions?
No.
Do you think they will create a great big distraction?
Illusion is an opposition school for me.
Because the last thing I want to do is like lightning bolt and hit her like I did with Karrith. You gave me the look of like you lightning bolted me. Yeah, I totally did fry you.
No, I know that, but I was like, because she's in a rough condition to be able to do that.
I don't want to do something like that again. Is that our timer ticking down? Yeah.
That's your timer ticking down.
So let's get Karrith. And then let's figure out a 3-way on how to do this. Giggity.
That's probably the best call.
All right.
I got
Hold the door, dumbass.
I got 3 level 1 spells left, so hopefully we can get it done with that.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, the pixie duster, Nyphix, you will watch as it shoots out 2 more glittery bombs and bursts away from you. Your friends leaving you behind to chase after Karrith. As you watch that wagon pulling away over the horizon, you will see the guard who has captured you, the 5th member of this group. He walks over and he kneels down to you. His piercing green eyes looking into yours, he goes, Well, what do we have here? Seems I've caught a little birdie on my hunt.
Meow.
What should I do with you? Do you respond to him?
I mean, I think you silenced me last time, didn't you?
Nope, there's no silence, just binds.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of look up at him and go, you can clip my wings all you want. Doesn't mean my claws aren't as sharp.
He's like, damn it, she's right.
As you say that, he'll smile as he goes, And how will sharp talons help you from hanging this time? You're a high-value target, Nyphix. Technically, I can bring you in dead or alive, and it's the same money. The difference is, alive makes me a hero. Dead makes me scared of you. And I do not fear you or any of your unkind. And as he says this, he will grab the top of your head, and you will hear worms slither from the top of your skull into his hand. As he goes, remember the name of General Xeris. And he lets your head go. With that, that boat will turn around and begins heading back to the main. I will post Xeris in chat as well so that we have it for our notes if we need it. There you go. I trust you guys know how to spell general, so I'm not going to do that. With that, can I get a riding check? Well, not a ride, a swim check from either Eelix or Razzik, whichever one is currently piloting the Pixie Duster after the Raven.
Oh god, that's me. Oh god. It's gonna be no
Good luck, friend.
good.
Oh boy, no.
Clickety clackety, clickety clackety. Something good. Oh, that's not good. It's a 9. My swim is only a +1. Oh no. Oh no. My swim is a -1. That's an 8. That's an 8.
All right. Cutting to the top of the Raven. Kurtz and Karrith are going to stare down with each other. This dwarven man who betrayed your team. Somebody who maybe at one point in time you looked up to. He looks at you and smiles and goes, "First place. Knew I'd make it. Congratulations on taking second. And again, you should be used to coming in second, eh?"
Better than last.
Aye, that's the way to look about it. So you're gonna go hop off and join your friends, or you sticking around for the long haul? Looking a little weak in the knees there, boyo.
I'm gonna look over my shoulder. Is it still the waterway that we're on?
That it is.
He's gonna then look back to Kurtz and say, if I have to find you, I'll feel my way for you. And I jump in the water.
As you jump your way in the water, Kurtz will take his hand and salutes you as you splash into the water behind him. And you will watch as his ship begins to careen around and starts heading back towards the mainland itself so he can go and claim his prize. And with that, the Pixie Duster pulls up on Karrith, who is probably treading water. Roll a swim check with disadvantage, Karrith. You are still greased up.
Yeah. So 4 is the lowest.
The BP oil spill is taking you to.
Yep. Let me go ahead and just check. Because I think my swim was pretty low. Okay, it's just flat 4.
All right. So you'll watch as Karrith jumps off of the Raven, lands in the water, and splashes out of it at first, but then just begins to rapidly sink. And Eelix and Karrith, you pull up on him as you see a couple bubbles hit the top of the water. What do you guys want to do?
I guess I got the highest swim. I'm swimming for Karrith.
That's probably a smart
With
way to
no
go.
hesitation, I dive into the water and try to drag him back up onto the boat.
Okay. Karrith, give me another swim check.
I get a +1.
Oh, God.
And 1 for death?
I'm going to roll out deaths just because I see how you're rolling. I'm going to try and give him the benefit. of the
Thanks,
doubt.
thanks. The dice like to
better.
tell a story.
The story of pain and drowning.
Okay, so that's an 18 plus 1 for Razzik. As
Yeah.
Razzik is careening down after you, Karrith. And you will see as Karrith is trying to tread water, he's kicking, and it's just not happening. And Razzik, as you get within 3 feet of him, you are now able to reach out and grab Karrith. And in the back of your brain, a deep set fear that you forgot comes back into your head. Worms.
Oh, shit. Use my staff. I push my staff over to him. I'll just tuck it under my. I'll just tuck it between, like under my arms, and kick for the surface.
Tuck and roll.
Okay.
And then I'll reach
Make
for the
a-
stick.
Yep. Make a reflex save, Karrith.
Reflex?
Yep.
If I can find it real quick. Okay, that's 14.
14. You reach for Karrith, for Razzik's cane, and you manage to grab it, and you are now being motored back
To
with
the
Razzik,
light.
who is pulling you back to the boat with his stick. You begin to tread water as Razzik breaks the surface first, and Eelix probably helps him up and onto the boat. And then you have Karrith straddle up onto the boat, and Eelix, same thing. Worms. Are you helping pull Karrith up and onto the boat?
Oh God, no! I don't want worms. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna like extend some piece of something out that he can grab.
All
There's
right.
got to be a
Karrith,
piece of rope or something on here that I can wrap around him.
Karrith,
Surely.
climb check with advantage.
Okay.
Well, that was fun. In so much as I'm fucking wet now.
What is with the twos?
That's
Two.
Karrith for you. That's a 14. You said climb?
Yep.
Yeah, that's just 14.
You're fine. You hop up onto the boat, and you are now on the pixie duster with both Razzik and Eelix. The three of you now safe. Also free to claim your second place prize, and notably, one team member down.
Well, let's go get our prize, and then we'll plot how to break Nyphix out of jail.
You didn't get her first?
Unfortunately, she was surrounded by 5 guards, and I have 1 HP. So no.
Because your character knows
Literally
exactly how many
swimming in
hit
the
points
same
it
boat.
has.
Oh, I feel like I'm on death's door. Yeah,
You're
that's how I
Deadpooling
know.
and stuff.
Yes, I'm death, and I'm on death's door, so it's not good. Also, I'm basically out of magic. I got like a burning hands left, and I'm done. This is a bad situation. I do have a club. I could bonk them.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to rescue them from the local jail. There's no way that we were gonna take them with the two of us and with you in the condition you were in.
Plus, the logic was we knew where Nyphix was going to end up. We have no idea where you would have ended up. And if we hadn't come and pulled you out of the water, you would be at the bottom of the whatever the fuck waterway this is. Dead. And that seems like the worst outcome.
How long can we have this fairy duster?
Probably not much longer.
Till you return it. Till you get back to the mainland and collect your prize.
Yeah, let's go collect our prize, return the fairy duster. So
I
them
think we need
fairies
to
don't
beeline
kill us.
right for where they're going. We can't let them get a foothold past us.
if that's what you guys want to do, I'm down.
Well, if they're going to take her to a jail, which is probably the most likely situation.
Do I need to remind you what they were about to do to us at ours?
No.
Oh no, we know they intend to kill her. There's no question. They'll hang her probably, within a day or two. But unfortunately, that seemed like a safer option. So it's not that we didn't consider it. It's simply that this was the best way.
I'm going to look out the way where Kurtz was returning to the mainland. Gonna roll perception on this. That's a dirty 20, I believe. It is. It's a dirty 20.
Nasty 20.
Yeah. My thoughts is to kind of see if I resonate with him still.
As you're trying to resonate with him, you've had the worms in you long enough. Yeah. You do feel your worms in his body.
Can I redirect that towards Nyphix?
As you redirect your worms towards Nyphix, you will detect your worms. And you'll also detect that the worms are distressed.
I'm going to keep note of that so that I can understand the difference. I'll get him next time. Let's go to Nyphix as soon as possible.
Okay. Oh, let's go then.
Do you have anything to heal yourself with?
No.
Any spells?
No. I got jack shit, my friend.
Oh, you had a potion?
No, I thought I did. I don't.
What about me?
No.
Have you picked up any shopping recently? I don't think you've been out to shop for potions yet.
Have not.
All right, so a short rest while you're riding back would probably be the smart
option,
maneuver if you guys want to act immediately. Use your hit dice to recover some hit points.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
At which point, we shall begin cutting back towards the mainland. Nyphix, you as well can use some hit dice to recover some hit points. If anybody needs a reminder on how that works, let me know.
Once I start taking damage, I will.
1 point this entire 11 sessions.
Have I taken 1 point?
1 point from Scab.
Oh, yeah.
Which also explains why you had such a burning, fiery hatred for Scab. He's the only thing that touched you. You can't let that fly.
That's all right. I'll get him later.
Leave him
Where
alone.
do we see our hit die?
He's just a boy.
He's just a boy. Leave him alone.
Nyphix, do you want to regain any hit points on the way back to jail?
I mean, yeah, considering it's sitting at 7.
So when you're using your hit dice, you roll. We're all level 4, so we have 4 hit dice of which to use.
Okay.
You will roll whatever dice you use when determining how many hit points you get, and add your Constitution modifier to those dice. You can use one or all of them. It's on you. You cannot heal past your maximum hit points. And they all come back after a long rest.
Where would I know what my hit dice are?
As a War Priest, I believe your hit dice are 10, but I can quickly go and check your page real quick.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing hit die on my sheet either. Which is
For
weird.
a
You'd think
fighter,
it
I
would be
also
there.
believe it's 10.
Okay. And we can only roll one of them?
You can roll anywhere from 1 to 4 of them.
In a
As many
short
that
rest.
you want to use. All right, it doesn't tell me, so I'm just going to do this.
Okay.
War Priest Pathfinder. War Priest. War Priest have a D8. And fighters, I'm damn positive, are a D10. D10, yep.
Okay.
Wizards, I'm also positive, are a D6, but I'll check anyway. This way, Death can get some health back. Yep, D6s. Do you want some hit dice back yourself, Death?
Yes.
No,
yes,
it's
they
just
do.
hit die. It doesn't give us... we don't do anything else on it. It's just the hit die.
The hit die and your
Wrong.
Constitution modifier.
Okay.
You have to roll them, though, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I just rolled it now. I got 22 on the dice.
And then it'd be your
Constitution
Constitution
modifier
modifier
is +4.
times 4.
Times 4?
Yeah,
Because
because you used 4 hit dice.
Yeah. I already rolled the 4.
Yep. So what happens
Okay.
is, like, if you use 1 hit dice, you only use 1 Constitution modifier. If you use 4 hit dice, you get 4 times your con mod.
Oh, okay.
Make
So,
sense?
Like to
Yeah.
look at mine and I'll tell you what I got.
All right. How many hit dice do you want to use, Death?
Huh?
How many hit dice do you want to use to recover health?
Hold on, let me see how many I have. For
4.
con mod. No, for my con mod. I guess I'll use them. I guess I use them all.
All right. So you'll regain 12 plus 12, 24 health back.
Right. That's
I
about.
got exactly to max health.
Nice. Very nice.
All right.
Literally 38.
Yeah, 14 back.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm going to add this map. I'm going to put it in the Tree of Ravens so that I can make a new map for us, as we might end up needing it. All right, this is going to be an evolving map, evolving as we go. Just need to get some tokens. There's Nyphix. We got Razzik. Sure. Eelix and Karrith.
All right. What was I going to do in here? I heard Razzik and Karrith.
I'm adding you guys to a map.
I see. Okay.
This is going to be an evolving map that's going to evolve as we play, because I didn't know which direction you guys were going, and I didn't want to prepare 2 different maps.
Makes sense.
It just makes my life a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Their mind works too.
Especially since, one of us has no ability to see the maps.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll hear back tomorrow and that will change. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, wants that computer back more than me.
All right, so I guess we'll use these more as reference cards. With that, Eelix, Razzik, and Karrith have begun their trip back. They will get back to the mainland. They will collect their prize. That prize being a dagger that is swirling with energy, though that energy just seems to currently be a wind current that is pulsing around it. It almost feels like wind drawing towards the dagger itself. You guys will also get a pot of gold that is worth 750 gold pieces that you may split amongst you if you'd like, or put it into the pile for everybody. And you'll return the pixie duster to the pixies, of which you'll see that they are exceedingly excited that you guys managed to pull out a win from your asses. Because honestly, it didn't really look that good back there. Looked like you guys were down for the count. Afraid we were going to have to take your souls. Kind of glad it didn't go that way. And you won. With that said, happy to have you on the team. If you need a racer in the future, you know where to look. We're at every single event. Got to get our teams in, get these shot pots going.
Well, thanks for not taking our souls. We appreciate that. Kind of attached to them.
Well, to be honest, we probably wouldn't have taken the souls. We probably would have sent you on a whirlwind adventure to do something that would have helped out the shop anyway. You all look like pretty well-to-do types too. So, I mean, if you're looking for some work, you just let us know, and we'll make sure you get to the right place. We pay good for what it's worth.
Where did you see the guards go by?
There were some guards that came in before you guys got here, and especially before the Raven landed. Looks like they were heading into the center of the town, bringing a capturee to the obelisk. Or to the oblique, whatever you humans call them. Oubliette, that's the word.
Thank you. I look at Eelix and nod my head over, and I start heading towards the center of town.
All right. Agreed.
Thanks again for you guys' help, but we must be on our way. Thank you again.
All right. Also, somebody feel free to clock that magical dagger so that you guys can find out what it is, what it does later.
I guess I'll hold on to it.
Probably best you do.
Add to your character. I cannot. It doesn't let me.
I got it. I can do it.
Okay. All right. And with that, we're going to cut to Nyphix. Nyphix, you've been jammed in a ruddy, rundown cell. You'll note immediately that the bed is not there. It's been removed. I wonder why. In its place, there is just some straw strewn about the ground. You still have your bucket if you need to shit or piss. But for the most part, your cell is barren of anything that you could potentially use as a tool to get out. You'll see that the guards who have locked you in here sneer a bit and go, well, at least we'll have a little bit of entertainment in the morning. And you'll see that one of the guards is a little bit, I would say, perturbed that he's locking you up. And as the other ones go away, he'll stay behind. He looks at you and goes, Tree of Ravens, right? What happened to you all? Well, I remember it. You used to be heroes. Not, blood and glory style heroes, but mercenaries for the better man. Now again, you're stealing things from the Emperor's supply and making riots in towns. Is all that true?
Would you believe me if I said otherwise?
I want to. I really do. I wanted to join the Tree of Ravens back in the day, but I failed the exam. I remember to this day, Vickers and Malik, when they came up to me, clapped me on the shoulder and said maybe next time. Malik told me never to give up hope. That grit and determination will see through any day. Vickers seemed happy that his friend was taking lead with him. Well, now there's this. We hear Malik's walking around town, not a damn thing we can do about it. You all still at the top of our most wanted list. I guess he retired just in time, As you take a look at this human man, he's got short brown hair, kind of cuts off in a wave behind his head. He's very, very young. You can tell maybe around like 18, 19, like just admitted into the guard, still just kind of getting his drinking boots on, really. And there is a lull about him where he's just trying to get to know his heroes while they're still here. And speaking on Vickers and Malik like this, and knowing what happened yourself because you were there, how does that feel for Nyphix?
Well, it's definitely going to kind of sit heavy in her chest, knowing that this what looks to be still a kid to her in her mind's eye, really, was going to join the Tree Ravens, and Vickers, encouraged him to do it, and Malik stood by and is just now walking around town like he owns it, knowing what he's done. Just knowing the fact that there are people that are just actually believing the fact that the Ravens have turned this way, but are hurt that it's happened.
And you'll watch as this guy looks at you and goes, look, if it's not true, if what they're saying is a bunch of lies and you're just trying to clear your name, there are some that still believe in you. And you'll watch as he lifts the sleeve of his left bicep, and you'll see tattooed on his shoulder the steel raven, wings spread, holding the egg that holds a beautifully bloomed tree full of ravens.
Once I see the tattoo on his arm, I will look at him and just kind of say, it's good to know that there are some people who don't truly give up on that hope. But I will say, don't show that to everybody.
I understand. I'll be back in the morning to bring you some food, okay? Just to, I don't know, do anything to try and make your life easier while you're here. And he turns and begins to walk away, and you hear inside of you those damnable worms calling to him to not leave, to protect them from you. Thousands of voices, your worms trying to resonate with his. Is there anything you do?
Is Nyphix's hands still bound? Do they keep her?
Your hands are bound, but it's you can try to pick yourself out. At this point, you realize that they're binding you more because you are a public enemy who was slated for execution, who escaped a prison,
Right.
and has now been rebound. They're trying not to lose you a second time.
I can break these cuffs.
I mean, I could definitely try. It's gonna make a lot of
You can't break
noise.
those cuffs, Nyphix. You can't break those cuffs.
I definitely know as she hears these voices, it's definitely going to kind of make her cover her ears, kind of curl. Like she's gonna, it's going to cause a bit of a psychological hit there. I don't know if he's going to be affected by it though. If he's going to feel that notion. However, I do want to try and internally connect with them and figure out what's going on.
With the worms?
Yeah.
Sure. Roll a sense motive check.
What is that?
It's gonna be your skill.
It's a 5.
Oh, sorry.
I was trying to see what the fuck it was.
Yeah, I thought at first
It's
what
a-
you said was like, what's the skill?
Well, I'm looking at it from here, and like the way it looks like it's a fucking 18, but I'm like, no, it's not. It's a fucking 5.
I don't roll that well.
Yeah. No, it's a 13 with the modifier.
It's
Okay, cool.
2 if you try hard enough.
But I see that what's funny is it's not askew
Yeah.
at all. It's flat. I don't know why it looks like it's an 18 like that. That's fucking weird. Over
It's
there in the
way
corner.
camera's getting it.
Yeah. Oh, strange.
Essentially, when you have your camera that close to something, it kind of fishbowls the lens. And that
Yeah.
fishbowling of the lens makes it so it hits certain areas a certain way. It's just the way the lens is shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that said, trying to get a beat on the worms, you recognize their screams. You've heard screams like this before. Screams during hard-fought battles when you were still with the Strix commandos. The screams of terrified people, scared they're going to die. They're frightened of you.
The fuck?
That's interesting.
Can I tell if they're multiplying still or just the base infection that I got when I grabbed Kurtz?
They're still feeding on your mana, and if anything, they are doing it even better since this is your second infection. But you still hear all of those calls through your body resonating with your bones of pleas of help, begging you not to. Hearing, "Don't hurt us!" inside you.
It's definitely gonna have Nyphix kind of twisted sideways a little bit. Shit. I guess at this point I'm going to, as that's kind of going on, I'm gonna try and just see if I can't tamper it down, try and drown it out at this point, so I can try to focus. Since it just seems like it's repeating.
You manage to quell the rage inside of you. Those raging spirits. They're still there, but like white noise now. They're in the background.
As they quiet down, I do want to take a closer look at the mechanism on the door and the bars.
The bars themselves and the door are all made of wrought iron. They are sturdy bars meant to contain only the most dangerous of prey. The locks themselves are still fairly big, where if you jam something in them, you can shake them loose, mainly because the oubliette, while made to contain large, crazy beasts, is still old and decrepit in its own ways. You'll hear the sounds of other creatures down here, both humanoid and not. Low-set growls, the sounds of magic attempting to go off before you'll hear electricity surge and beasts scream at the pain that they are under. Guards maneuvering around in this very haunted, very macabre place.
Does it look like any of them are passing by in any sort of pattern?
Any guards?
Yeah.
At the moment, no.
Okay. You said there's a bucket in the corner, right?
Mm-hmm. Wooden bucket made to contain piss and shit.
Is there a handle on it?
There is no handle on it.
Shit.
A handle is equivalent to a pick. They're not going to give you it.
I mean, they could be stupid enough.
No, I mean, they
It's
took your
worth a
bed
shot.
out. They're like, not again.
I'm going to just for the hell of it, I am going to kick through this bullshit nest that they decided to put on the ground because it's done and pissed me off. And kick through it to see if by any chance there is anything else underneath it.
Bugs. There are bugs in it.
I'm going to purposely take it all, and I'm going to toss it out of the cell.
You toss this matted bird nest full of earwigs out of the cell and onto the ground. You'll watch as they scamper and scatter, trying to get away from this distortion of their habitat. Very clearly, this was straw taken from a nearby farm or barn. And now that it's been heaved out, all of these creatures, much like the ones inside of you, are seeking refuge. And with that, Karrith, Eelix, and Razzik, you find yourselves staring at the doorway to the oubliette. It sits basically underneath of the Torlay guard structure. There is a large manor. It is 3 stories big, and it serves as guardhouse, as community center, and as first bastion if anybody needs to retreat. There are large imposing walls here, rarely locked, rarely gates up, because it's meant to be in case pirates come or an invading army, that people can gather in here and then the doors will shut. And you do see the oubliette sitting off to the left side, this little hatched doorway that leads down at a 45-degree angle, almost very similarly to the ruins that you guys had encountered the worms at. The oubliette goes underneath the town and becomes a winding, twisting, minotaur-like labyrinth. In a way to prevent people from getting in unwarranted and people from getting out and becoming a bigger hazard. Also, Eelix, can you give me a knowledge history check or a knowledge local check if you have it? Razzik, you have knowledge local, I believe, so I'm going to roll.
I do.
Let's see.
Razzik got
Knowledge local, I have a +10.
Yep, Razzik got a 24.
17.
Nah.
The two of you are positive you've heard tales of monsters that roam in that oubliette.
What kind of monsters? Or just generic, there's monsters?
Generic, there are monsters, and if you train enough, Razzik has a high enough score to feel it. You can feel the ground minorly trembling in this area. The monsters in there are large and
They're large and what? You kind of cut out there.
Imposing.
Imposing. Okay.
With a 24, would I have any idea of what kind of monsters we might face if we were to go in there?
As far as jokes go, it being the labyrinth of the oubliette, you have a small giggle to yourself that there might be minotaurs down there. Before you remember that minotaurs are people too, and they don't keep them in prisons anymore. However, you shudder to think what they've replaced minotaurs with.
Man, bear, pig.
Man, bear, pig. I saved you.
Perhaps, and this is just a thought, so I have two thoughts on this. First,
I'm frightened.
if we wanted to distract the guards from the oubliette so that we can enter it from the quote-unquote community center, we could just set that motherfucker on fire.
Also, for what it's worth, I want you guys to know, you guys haven't actually committed any crimes. In the first jail cell, you guys never attacked a. Well, okay, never mind. I had to actually take that back. I forgot about that.
I mean,
You definitely murdered guards. Feel free.
Toilet.
Feel free to act as you will.
I mean,
He got back up. He got better.
if I can get
We're
a
not going
disguise.
to survive this by like sticking to some sort of a moral code. We have to do what is required to make it out.
I feel like I have a chance with monsters.
I feel like the other idea that I have, if you'd rather not set the community center on fire.
The only people saying
The other
that is
idea
you.
I have.
I said the only person that said setting fires is you.
Yeah. The other idea I have is to find the other entrance to the oubliette, the farthest point, the place where, I mean, if it's a labyrinth has a center, which is clearly where the prisoners are, and it has a start point. So we find the start point, open the gate, pile a bunch of meat or something outside, and lure the monsters out. Then go in.
I feel like it's not going to be easy luring them out. And we're living on borrowed time.
Well, that is true. But what are we going to do? You have any better plans? I'm all for hearing them.
The only alternative I could think is I could still stay hooded and make my way in. And if they do catch me, they catch me at one point. And they'll lead me to Nyphix. Potentially put us both in the same cell.
Go
How
back
does
to
that
all being in
enter
jail
our
again,
positions?
having to do another jailbreak from the inside.
Yeah,
If it
what if they
works out
don't
that
put
way.
you in the same cell as her? What if they put you in a different cell from her? Now we got 2 jail cells we're going to break it free of.
Then it feels like the only choice is. It feels like then the only choice is to go against the monsters in the labyrinth.
Well, how big is this?
I think
How big is
Vernon-
this thing that like they're holding her in? Right? Like, how big is it?
We don't know.
I feel like
Probably.
burning down the community center would be the best way, but if you guys want to battle monsters
If you want to make
without any
if
of
you
those
want to
spells,
make a distraction, that would be the only way. But
Rumors have it that the oubliette expands the entirety of the town. However, that would be structurally unsound, so you know that that's not the truth.
Yeah.
right.
But that also, an exaggeration, it has some truth to it. So it's big.
Mhm.
Like it's not as big as the city, but it's big still nonetheless. Which is mazy, which means have a great chance of getting lost, and we're not going to get all the monsters out if we throw a couple cheeseburgers on the ground.
I was thinking more of live bleeding prey, but whatever.
Still, I don't think we'd get all of them out. Maybe one, maybe two, but who the heck knows how many are in there? So
Right?
we'll still have to stealth around in there. And,
But
We'll
with
see.
our spells, or at least my spells, exhausted, I'm not going to be able to help you much.
yeah, and my spells are not combat focused; they are control focused.
You guys will also notice that unlike when they caught you the first time, they don't have any gallows set up.
I mean, we could just do a frontal break.
We really could.
Like
Just storm the place?
Just walk in, not storm it. Let's just walk in, ask to see the prisoner, and see what happens. Like best case scenario, they're like, "Oh, yeah, you can totally see the prisoner. Like you're her lawyer or something." Like we'll come up with some kind of bluff, and then that's best case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, we all get locked up again and we got to break out from the inside. We've already done that once.
Mm-hmm.
So, flip a coin, deal with the monsters, or deal with a possible breakout again without our stuff and lose everything we got on us. Now we also
Does anyone have a way to hide some sort of implement for lockpicking on themselves?
We just got a ton of money too. Why don't we just bribe some guards?
Do I see the entrance to this underground loop yet?
Yep, the oubliette is basically right in front of you. There are warning signs. There's nobody guarding it.
How much do these guards make?
Can I go up to the cage, like the gate? That's what I meant to say. Up to the gate and try to sense if I can like interact with anything in there.
You wander up to the gate, and unfortunately, you're not really picking up much from where you're standing. It's this large, imposing iron door. It does have a lock on it, and that lock is engaged. You would need to pick that lock or find some way how to shatter it to get into it. This way, not everybody can just wander in. But you also kind of get the feeling and feel the door rumbling. The reason it's not guarded is because it doesn't have to be. If something manages to get in there, one less thing for a census worker to worry about.
Okay.
Right.
How much do the guards make? We just got what I think's a boat ton of money at 750 gold. Like,
I mean,
I don't have these
No,
tools
for a
on me or
fact, but
anything. So
750 gold ain't shit.
what
But
what things on me could I use? Pick this.
Typical living wage for a guard for a month is around 320.
oh, never mind then.
But I mean, that's like typical living wage for guards who are getting pretty decent. Town this big has a port to it, has trade that comes in and out of it. So you're also well aware that in every guard circle, there's somebody who's willing to get their palm greased with something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
that's definitively true, I'm sure.
So what would I have to use to try to break this lock somehow?
reasonably, you can blow it if you have some explosives. If you have a minute enough explosive, you can put it in there to just shatter the lock. Coincidentally, you know somebody who likes to play with those.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick it if somebody's got a high enough skill for it and pop it open in that way. Other way is you could probably use the old hammer and chisel method. Get a blade in the door and smash it with a rock. You're going to lose the blade, but the door will be hopefully broken.
I do have daggers on me to spare if I do. I think that's what I'm going to try to do.
Just keep in mind, forced locks have a chance to break the lock in a way where it's not unlocked and not going to open.
What time of day is it right now?
Afternoon.
Late afternoon. Late, like 3 or 4 in the afternoon?
4 to 5, yeah.
4 to 5? All right. If we rested for 8 hours, that'll give us everything back, and we could revisit this place at 1 a.m. And then I'd actually be able to help you.
I feel like Karrith in this moment really doesn't want to wait. Like, we already waited to come back here, interaction-wise, with the cart and everything. Like, it just...
Well,
I don't know if it's just the worms in his head that he's, like, thinking about, but he's, like, itching of, like, I can't sit here for 8 hours just to wait on something that may or may not work.
So, to put everything on the table, breaking in now, entirely plausible. Totally can do it. Totally can get in there. Totally can start storming the beaches of Normandy. I mentioned the fact that there's no gallows set up because unless they're planning on squatting Nyphix in the right now, which they would have killed her by now if that was the intention. Obviously,
right.
Waiting for some sort of relay for it. You do also have time to wait.
Yeah.
Waiting would put you further along in the guard cycle, so you're going to have a lot of hired guards wandering around, but gives the worms time to fester. It gives the hive more time to be a hive. There are pros and cons to this situation on both sides. Get in there now, fix the problem now, and wait till later, fix the problem later. And both have their benefits and cons to it.
If we were going to do a frontal assault, I like to wait till shift change when there's less of them there.
Do we know what time they change shift typically?
No. Unless like some kind of check will give us that information. We don't have it off the top of our head. I know that.
Shift changes will typically happen around the 9th hour. That's usually when they go. So your next shift change will actually be happening in roughly a couple minutes if they haven't done it already, because it would be in the 5 to 6. Next shift change will be happening 1 to 2.
So 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, they'll shift change again. Which means that we have a perfect opportunity to rest, construct a better plan than just walking in there, and I will actually have spells to help. That's my vote. If you want to storm the place, get arrested, whatever, I'll go with you. But I just want to point out that I think it's a bad idea, and I won't be able to have spells to help you. I have 1 burning hands, and then I'm out.
Also, as for Eelix, guards might be bribable.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else might be bribable who's in town?
Who?
Malik.
That is true.
And you also have Nails, the X Tree of Ravens member who's wandering around.
Yep. Malik and the X Tree of Ravens guys, because there's the other one too on the beach.
Yep, that would be Nails. And
Nails.
then
oh god, what was the guy in the inn that helped me out? Not
the guy in the inn's name was John Eddard, who is the fence.
Yeah. All right. So, the other option we do have is I could go try and get help. We made some money. We might just have to spend that money now on something we weren't anticipating spending it on.
I think that's fine if it gets Nyphix out of jail. And honestly, I think we should go in the night, and then I can actually like start a fire somewhere in this place, and they can get properly distracted, and we can walk smooth right in, break their lock off, and keep moving.
Also, for Razzik, because you keep mentioning fire, remember, fire spreads the worms faster. So
Not
if you
my
want to do
problem.
that, I'm not going to stop you. But
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, it from Razzik's position, the worms are not his problem. He wants to stop them, but he's also not trying to lose a companion because of potential of worm growth. Like, that's not a cautionary thing in his mind.
All right. Well, I know what I would like to do. I would like to do what I did last time when you guys got stuck down in the middle of a thing, and that's go get some help.
Oh.
Last time I was pretty good at that. I got us a little army of gnolls. I'm not going to bring an army of gnolls this time, that's for sure, but...
I guess I'll find an alleyway and start sleeping.
We got nails still. Karrith should know nails, right?
Karrith knows of nails. That's who you were keeping the sword for, because that sword was Nails's.
Yeah. So...
Well, I will find an alleyway to camp out in.
Your call, man. What do you want to do? Do you want to go storm this place when we're drastically unprepared? Or do you want to go get some help and get a little more situated? I'll go either way. I mean, I can do either one. But you know me, I'm down the clown.
Do what you need to do then, Eelix.
All right.
I'm going to wait here, and I'll keep watch and see if that shift change happens.
Okay. So I am going to leave, and I'm actually going to make a first stop at Nails. Another stop. Oh, wait, no. I'm going to go to John first, because I want to know who in the area is sympathetic to our cause. That maybe not sympathetic as in... Yes, as in like they're allies, but also, hey, here's 100 gold. Do a thing for me, and they won't just stab me in the back right away.
All right.
I want to know those two groups of people. And then I might go talk to Malik after that. Which I know everybody's going to be so thrilled that I've done.
All right.
I have a suggestion. If you're going to talk to Malik, you may want to talk to him from the position that if he would have included us in his plan, we would have helped him.
I got Malik handled. I got him handled.
Well,
So,
good luck.
John
I'm going to make some
first.
scrolls and get some sleep.
Yeah, John first.
Okay, so from what I'm understanding, the four-way party split. Razzik's sleeping in the back alley. Karrith is monitoring the gate.
Giving hand jobs.
Nyphix obviously indisposed, and Eelix going to do hood rat shit. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so I'm going to camera up on Razzik. I'm going to camera up on Razzik unless you want to do anything in particular, like because you've got time in the back alley, you can study that dash, see what it does.
Yeah, I want to make some scrolls also because I'm basically
you have
out.
the gold to make the scrolls.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make 2 scrolls and then go hit some rack time.
Okay, so I'll leave you to that. We'll then cut over to Eelix, then we're gonna bump to Karrith, and then back to Nyphix as we're going.
Yeah, that's fine.
Eelix, you said first you're going straight to John.
Yeah,
So I'm
we
going
go to the
to
fence
have
first.
you. don your next disguise and you find your way back to the bottom barrel and see John basically helping out, waiting tables, getting ready to start for the evening shift where he's going to be dealing with a lot of dinner rushes and crap like that there. He's got several pots of food brewing in the back, and you do see two of his new female wait staff that are helping out in the kitchen, as well as to start setting up the tables and getting ready for the rowdy crowd. You can tell that these two are they are seafarers who are looking for a bit more coin on the side, as they both have an air of that seawater smell to them, as well as several scars and injuries from times out on the ocean and fighting in random events. As you wander in, John motions to you, and you sit down. What can I do, you fool friend? First time seeing your face.
Yeah, look. So I'm in a bit of more of a, you know me, always stepping in it. Well, this time it wasn't me that decided to step in it. It was so much as one of my teammates got kind of pinched by the fuzz. And we know about where they're being held. I'm going to tell them where we were and what we saw. So here's the thing. I also got a little bit of money from that race, because we did win. So I'm looking to get some people together. Loyal people loyal to the coin at the very minimum, who could help us get our companion out. Now, this could be either a city official, if we can just grease the palms of bureaucracy and just have them marched out the side door into our possession. That would be fantastic. Like, I would be so happy with that. You have no idea. Otherwise, I need to put together a crew. People that have the skills to get in and out while causing as little destruction as humanly possible.
Well, I suppose let's start with how much gold you're planning on throwing around.
I checked the coin purse. I got, what, 750, you said?
750 from the race, and probably about like 50, 75 extra you scavenged off of this and that.
Yeah, so I got about 800. I got about 800 coin. I know this isn't going to buy me, an elite team of anything, but there's got to be some way to, some city official, some corrupt person who's behind on their rent, or a city guard that really needs the cash infusion. Got to be somebody like that.
Godsman, you're going to have a hard time moving for that price. I could probably think of one that would let you do some Robin Hood thing and try and save them at the moment of execution, but that's going to come down to, can you get them out of there under your own accord? For, well, you just become like them in the gallows as well.
Which, you know me, I'd like to, keep my head on the shoulders.
You found common.
Who?
Common language, being able to speak it.
Yeah, I can speak common.
Do you care if your help can't?
As long as they can speak Elvish.
They not that great at Elvish either, but they understand point and hit.
Point and it. Are these the type of things that I'm going to have to keep from eating their own belts and boots?
No, he's smart enough to not do that. He's just not a wordsmith.
I mean, I suppose that could be all right. Are you able to talk to them? Communicate what we need at the very least before we set out?
I think you'll be fine communicating with them. I'll see if I can get them involved. Let's see. And he takes a scroll out from underneath the counter, and he looks at you and goes, 5 gold for him. He's not expensive.
I drop it immediately. Just
He begins to pen something on the paper, and he hands it over to you. He goes, the ink is black currently. When it turns blue, place it on the ground and place your hand on it. And then call out the name Club.
Club.
You'll find out why when you call him.
Okay, but you did say club, as in bonk.
Club like bonk.
All right, yeah, I can remember club.
Do you happen to have any rogues in your gallery?
I don't. Somebody who could pick locks would be quite handy.
Picking locks is this one's specialty, though you're probably going to find them shying a bit more away from the battlefield. They prefer to throw daggers and shoot crossbows. That's fine, I can gather her for you.
That would work well for me. You know me. I don't like to get anywhere near the battlefield myself. They can stand near me.
Her fee is probably going to be negotiable. Roll a diplomacy check real quick.
A diplomacy check. Oz can do that. You give me a good number die. That's not starting from a place of strength. 9 and 7 is what? 16?
Yep.
Yay, I can math.
Yay, math.
I know she's looking for work. You're probably only going to get her, though. So I'd say maybe 150, 170 gold. See if I can get both of them on board.
Let's give her 175 to make sure she shows up.
I will warn you, if they show up together, you're going to have a lot of issues. They bicker like a married couple.
Well, they can bicker as long as they get the job done. What about...
And he'll pen another scroll with black ink and hands it to you. Same ruling. If it goes blue, this one he's going to say the names Kimmy and Blondie.
Kimmy and Blondie. Club Kimmy and Blondie. Well, this is going to be fun. Get in trouble for saying that.
It's all going to be based on your memory.
Nicto Verata Club Toes.
Speaking of memory games, you and Razzik have history with Kimmy and Blondie. You let them out of the jails last time.
Huh. That may owe us.
All right. Let's see. So that's rogues. That's a bonker. What about artillery?
I'm afraid that's going to be a hard sell. What type of artillery are you looking for? Are you just looking for munitions, or are you looking for somebody who can use the munitions?
I'm looking for the munitions. I need things that go boom.
I know a person. She favorites here occasionally. Likes to buy very high alcohol drinks. I don't know how she can stomach all of them. Tiefling woman named Jezza. She's got a shop called the Silken Pestle. Sits near the water. You'd probably be better off negotiating with her yourself.
Okay. Now, what about any of those city officials?
The cheapest official that I could possibly buy you would be easily 1.2k.
Then I guess the...
However, if I'm not mistaken, Lord Vorin was looking for some work to be done. You're willing to go in debt. You might be able to perform a job for him, and he might look the other way. But he'd most likely be able to sway the gods into not pursuing you. Whatever you're dealing with down there is a different story altogether.
No way he can get her out the side door?
Unfortunately, no. What's in there is in there, and no lord may shake it out without putting it in depth themselves. I can see what I can do. Who knows? The Tree of Ravens might be criminals in their own right, but that name still holds power. Just letting you know. To involve yourself with him, you might have to do some unsavory work.
When have I ever shied away from unsavory?
You? Never.
Unsavory? Never. Okay.
What about the one you're saving?
Huh?
But what about the one you're saving?
What about them?
You think they're going to just stop at you doing work for them?
Well, you know me. I'm good at getting groups to do jobs and not entirely telling them all the details until the job's completed and we've been paid or debts have been paid off.
However you decide to line your pockets. I'll put the word in Lord Warren's ears. Just understand I warned you.
Yeah. How would I make contact with them?
You won't have to worry about it. They're interested. They'll contact you.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to be off to see Nails, and then...
You want this sword back?
Yeah, I'm going to need that as an invitation, so to speak.
Good luck.
Hey, you wouldn't happen to know where Malik's been hanging out lately, would you?
Malik has been in the peak of perfection. It'd be absolutely suicide for any of your friends to try and get to him, but you're not your friends. You'll find him staying at the Phoenix Way Inn.
Sounds great. All right. Thank you. I'm gonna go handle this thing here real quick. Hopefully it all pans out. See you when I see you.
All right.
All right.
You meander off, and you're heading to Nails next, right?
Heading the Nails next.
I'm going to have to fucking reset the player because it doesn't want to work properly. This might just be the music we're stuck with.
Yeah.
Seems like it's Ocean's 11, the medieval version.
Nope. The bot just died. Oh, no, there it is.
Okay.
Right. So, that said, Razzik has completed making his scrolls, and Karrith, you're watching as the guards are changing. You'll see them making their maneuvers, not leaving a spot unavailable for too terribly long. But you do see guards, two of them, who pass a key back and forth between each other. The key is the proper size for the oubliette, though it might not be for the oubliette. The key can really go to anything until you put it in a lock. You're not going to know. Is there anything you'd
And
like
when
to
that
do?
key switches hands, does it go inside with the person that has them, or does it come with the person that's leaving?
It goes to the person who is staying.
Okay.
And you'll watch as they pocket it. It has a string that loops through the back of it and hangs out of the pocket. You can choose to interact, or you can choose to watch for a bit longer.
I'm going to choose to watch for a little bit longer. Just to see what he does with it, see if it's even worth taking my time.
All right. You'll watch as he wanders around the main courtyard for a bit, and you'll see that there is now a cart that's being brought in. And it's a sizable cart, like a trading wagon, fully covered and tall as shit. It stands about like 10 feet tall, and it's being pulled by 4 mules. You'll see that that cart begins to wander towards that large door, the large imposing door you saw before. The guard who accepted the key wanders over to the oubliette, sticks the key in the door, unlocks it, opens it, and begins talking with the trader to allow him to go down. You recognize some of the ingredients on the back of that as food. They are getting ready to feed the prisoners. You can tell that by the pungent smells and odors. And I say pungent smells and odors, those aren't like cooked decent meals that are going down there.
Right. From what I can see, is it possible to sneak onto that cart?
Make a
Or is
perception
it
check.
too filled?
Okay.
$18.
You look at it for a bit, trying to figure out if you can, if there's a way, and you do see an opening while everybody's distracted. You could slide in, and given the smell of the cart, you'd probably go unnoticed, at least to humanoid sniffers.
And Eelix is out going and getting people. I'm gonna look at Razzik. Do you think we're gonna be able to make it inside in time?
I rouse from my slumber, look over, and I'm like, I think we'll be fine. And it'll be even better if Eelix comes back with help. Don't rush it. I know what you're thinking. Don't do it. That'll be one more in handcuffs and one less out here helping us get him out.
Karrith leans back up against the wall and lets an opportunity slip.
All right. The food will go down, the doors close, and soon, Nyphix, you're presented with the guard who had ran into you before, the one with the Tree of Ravens tattoo. And you can sense that there's something starting to amiss with him. His eye is twitching, but he's got his food with you, and he brings it in and slides it under the door to you. And he goes, "Hey, it's dinner time. I stayed a little bit after because I wanted to make sure you got food."
You feeling all right there?
Yeah, I think I've been working a lot. Just got a sty in my eye. Warm compress should be able to fix that. But I just don't want anybody down here, giving you a hard time.
Let me guess. I'm a hot commodity, aren't I?
And you'd be surprised how many people want their hands on you, but you got friends down here, like I said. I'm realizing I didn't even introduce myself before. I know everything about you guys, but who am I? I'm Roland. It's nice to meet you. And he holds his hand out to shake your hand without even thinking about it. And you hear inside of your body the worms start cheering. They're cheering for him to shake your hand.
I initially reach out to go and shake his hand, but as soon as I, hear the cheering, I kind of stop within about a half an inch and stutter. My head twisting, kind of like, wait a minute.
Right. We shouldn't touch that. That was really stupid of me. I don't. Why did I think that was right? I should go. I think I need some sleep. You'll see his head violently twitch once or twice. You have a good night, Nyphix, and just try to stay calm. They're not planning on doing anything in the morning. They're still trying to get approval from Belfont before they do anything. Maybe there's a way how things will work out.
Wait, why do they need approval?
Well, it's the Emperor, but also Belfont really wants the prize. That there's a question of whether to have you executed here or to ship you back to Belfont or worse, Alexandria. there's been talk about the king making moves, but Emperor, I wish I knew more, but I can try and get you what I can.
I mean, Roland, if you can get me anything, that would be amazing.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll try to stick around tonight a little bit, and I'll see what I can drum up. All right.
Roland, by any chance, I mean, I know you said that there felt like a sty was in your eye, but are you hearing things by any chance?
Hearing things? No. In here, the monsters are so loud. I kind of get lost in my own thoughts occasionally, just to try and drown it out. There's a lot of things in here that are, well, let's just say a lot of things in here that are worse than you.
Yeah, I've been hearing. Yeah, I've been hearing some things down here as well.
And with that,
What
you're
exactly?
gonna hear another lightning strike of just of lightning surging through something, and then a deep, horrific scream of a monster that immediately begins thrashing around his cage.
Yeah, what exactly is down here with me, Roland?
There's a few things. Monsters are they're pretty fenced in. They don't even have doors to their cages, so you don't have to worry about any of them getting around or anything. It's a couple of brigands that were caught the other day, real live wire people, traders of a certain type, human traffickers, so to speak. They are really nasty. Honestly, I'm hoping they end up on the chop before you do. Other than that, there's all different manners of beasties, from elementals to monstrous creatures. One of the weirdest things we've seen is a fanged beast with a mouth that's huge. The general Zaris wants to try and tame it to see if he can make it into one of the guards. I think, unfortunately, he's getting pretty close to it. I think he's going to try and let that one prowl tonight. But
I'm sorry. Prowl?
yeah, the oubliette is a bit of a labyrinth. A maze meant to get people. I'm speaking too much. I'm sorry. And you hear as he says this, almost as if he heard somebody else coming down the path. And you hear the worms inside of you calling out to him to be cautious, to stop. And he listens. And at that point, the person who's coming in with all the food goes, "Hey, do you mind? We have more things we have to feed today, and I'd rather get the fuck out of here if you don't." Yeah, I'm coming. I'm sorry, Nyphix. I wish I could stay.
As he goes to leave, though, is there a way that I can reach out and catch his shirt and see if I can't connect to his worms to figure out what the difference is between his and mine? Why there's such a need between the two?
Yeah. You sense that he's rather distracted. And as you reach out of the cage and manage to grab him, he jumps a little bit in his own skin. He goes, You shouldn't." And you hear as he now stuttering and mumbling, You shouldn't." You hear the worms in his body. Kill.
I'm gonna let go.
And as you let go, he kind of looks at you for a second, and you see that in his face there's a bit of sorrow. He wishes he could do more for you, like he wishes he could help you get out. And he's trying. He's going to try and get you all the information he can. He's a man of his word. He smiles and he just says, I'm sorry. I'll be back with something, hopefully. And he follows after the food connoisseur, I say, as they walk around with slop around to everybody. And you can tell that, the slop that they're wandering around is definitely flesh and stuff like that of like beasts that have long since spoiled. But yours is toast, eggs, bacon. Stuff that was pilfered from the guards' quarters. Stuff that they wouldn't recognize went missing because they were cleaning it up from breakfast.
Interesting. I'm going to, as I kind of look down at it, I'm going to kind of cautiously pick it up. As I kind of look at, what's being passed out, and I'm going to hide it behind myself, hoping that anybody who's passing by doesn't see it.
And you have it. It's yours, your food for the day.
I'm just gonna hold on to it for right now.
No problem. Okay, we'll cut back to Eelix. Eelix, as you are now wandering the beaches, you will see that there is a small little beach hut that has been made out of stuff that's very obviously put together in a way to keep out the elements, but not the cold or the heat. And you see a man who's just kind of chilling on the beach. He's got his head laying back on a pillow he's made out of sand, and he's just letting the tide come in and wrap him like a blanket before it waves back out into the shore. This man has long black hair that is kind of pulled to a ponytail off to his side. His hands are behind his head. He has no weapons on him, and he is dressed in shorts with no shirt. He is older, probably around like late 50s, early 60s. And you can tell that this man still has a bit of his muscle mass to him. He still trains regularly, but he's just enjoying retirement. And almost instantly, you've spied your man.
Yep.
Let's torpedo his enjoyment of retirement. Yay!
I'm going to walk on over and just sit down next to him and put the sword down, like, in between the two of us. Need some help, buddy. Might have to take some time off the beach. One of ours is in a bit of a bind at the moment.
Oh, well, you're in the wrong place for somebody who's in a bind. Also, be careful with that thing. Don't you need a permit for that?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I got a few. The point of the matter is, Nails are gonna have to call you back. Need some help here.
Nails? I don't know who that person is. You got the wrong guy.
I'm gonna flash whatever face it was that I used to use when interacting with them previously.
And as you change personas, there is definitely a nod that he knows who you are. An unmistakable notice and a bond. And then he smiles and goes back to just enjoying the water. He goes, what you need is to relax. Lay on the beach, let the water touch your balls. Me, myself, I'm just a connoisseur of sand.
Well, came here figuring that you might be willing to, repay a couple of those old favors. If I remember right, I kind of had to drag you out of a few binds yourself back in the day. But if you're just going to be here, sit here, be lazy, kind of do the cowardly thing, that's cool too. I'll take this back and give it back to the guy that was using it as a doorstop until I showed up. I mean, it looked really good keeping that basement door propped open. But, I mean,
Eelix, you all are in much more than a bind. Your entire group has burned to the ground. The tree is no more. You still hang on to the tree of Raven's name like it means something. I'm going to kick a cat in the head. Give me a quick second.
don't actually kick the cat in the head.
I'm not. I'm going to let it in and just be like, what's your problem?
Yeah, so disclaimer for everybody watching this
You
at a
ran
later
away.
point in time. No animals were harmed in the production of this show.
And she ran away. She made all of that fuss to just make me open the door, stick her tongue out at me, and leave.
Sounds
That
like
sounds
my
about right.
dogs. Sounds like my pooches.
So what you're telling us is you just got ding dong ditched by a cat.
Yep.
No, I mean, now she's pushing the door all the way. Clearly, you're not allowed to have a closed door in a house with cats.
Try going to the bathroom alone with 2 dogs. So here's the thing. I'm not clinging to the tree. The tree's done and over. What I'm trying to do is keep these people alive long enough for them to realize that.
You're trying to do that. So you're saying you care for them?
In the way somebody cares for a house pet, yeah. I've been needing to get pets lately, and this is about as close as I can get. They feed themselves, they clean themselves, I don't got to pick up after them. It's a win-win. Plus, they're useful. They get me out of trouble when I get in it. Come on, you know me.
Are they tools to you or friends?
It's little column A, little column B, buddy.
And what is it exactly you want?
So we have one that's stuck in the oubliette. I got some people together. I have Karrith there. Got Razzik ready. I also have these scrolls here that are going to bring some people forward. I need to stop over at Jez's place and pick up some boom boom sticks. But with you, that should round us out quite nicely. We get in, we get her out, and then we get out of town. You can have your sword back. Just don't tell John that I gave it to you.
I wouldn't have given it to him in the first place if I wanted it back.
Well, you can give it back to him, and he can go back to using it as a doorstop. Or as a stir for the pot, whatever he was using it for. But, come on.
So, let's use a phrase that you're a bit more accustomed to. You're pulling me out of retirement to help you out of a jam.
Yeah, what do you want?
What's in it for me?
I'm going to pull out the sack, and I'm going to shake it. I don't know, what do you want? You want 100? 150? Think of it as another job. This could buy you a lot of relaxation here at the beach.
No relaxation at a cost, the capitalist way.
You operate within the system that you live in.
Have you seen my house? And he points to this obviously sandcastle looking like place. I will admit, it gets a little bit annoying when it washes out my lid.
Yeah, I mean, you can get some curtains, maybe a throw rug. Maybe one of those things with the jackalope antlers up and put it in the above your bed. Use it to hang your coat or hats or whatever it is you have to hang.
Make a diplomacy check. And I'm not going to lie, the DC for this one's going to be kind of high. The only reason he's unfucked by the guards is because he is not a raven at the moment. Him going down there.
Yeah, that's an 18. My dice are sucking more than I can't say what they're sucking more than tonight.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I like you. Really do. But I'm sacrificing more to go down there for a raven than you can possibly pay me in that gold. If you get your friend out, and the four of you come back here, I know of some places where you can get re-geared. I doubt that toothpick on your side is helping you out much.
Well, I usually don't get within range to use the toothpick. So I'm going to get up, collect my stuff. All right, well, I'm taking this with me since you obviously don't want it and didn't want it to begin with. I'm going to put that sword on my belt. Maybe I'll see you when the job's done. Or, you know, maybe I'll get captured and with the rest of us and they'll hang me from the tree as well. Who knows?
He smiles at you as he goes, have fun storming the castle.
Oh, yeah. Definitely going to do that. Say, where's that Phoenix Inn at here in town?
Phoenix Inn is in the main center square. Great place. Doesn't let me in anymore.
I'm going to flash over to a different face, and I am going to boogie toward Jez's.
As you wander into Jez's shop, you will open up the door, and you are greeted by this tiefling woman who spins to you and says, welcome to the Silken Pestle. Nice to have a new client. Seems I'm rather busy today. Can I interest you in healing tonics and potions, perhaps poisons and oils to wet your blade?
Perhaps. The potions sound absolutely fantastic. But also, I'm looking for some things that might go boom. John sent me down.
John?
Yeah, said you might be of a bit of a hand to me.
John's treated me good for a while. What exactly are you trying to make go boom?
Stone and metal?
That is going to be a tricky one. I don't think I have anything that big.
Not a whole lot of stone, not a whole lot of metal. Gates, doors.
Do you have any
Latches and hinges.
Do you have any affinity with magic?
Some affinity with it. I'm also with somebody that does have a different affinity than me. I'm mostly illusions and mental manipulations, but I have a friend that's pretty good at making things go catch fire.
All right. And she's going to hand you a potion. It's orange with a red core that looks like it has a feather floating in the center of it. She goes, this is the Pyro's Desire. Pour it into what you're looking at and hit it with flame. It'll make a boom, about as much as you put into it. And in case you have some innate urge, don't lick the vial.
All right, no licking the vial. All right. How many of these do you have and how much?
Well, I think I've only got about 2 left.
Okay.
And trade value for them is typically about 500 gold pieces. Though if John sent you, let him go for half.
250.
I'll tell you what. Sounds like you're doing some dangerous things. I'll throw in some healing potions while I'm at it. Full Cure Light makes you feel good. Remember, negotiating and haggling is a thing.
That's what I'm looking for on my sheet. I'm looking for...
a lot of it's like diplomacy checks and diplomacy, intimidation, and bluffing.
Yeah, we're going to go with a diplomacy check, and I'm changing my dye color because hopefully we get a little bit of a better result with a different color. But I am definitely going to try and talk her down like, hey, look, this is for a good cause. We're trying to get a friend of mine a little bit of a better environment than they're currently in.
That was a lot worse.
That red was not doing it.
This game needs heroic
The
luck.
dice like to tell story.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. What was it?
4.
It was a 4.
Which is a 14.
4.
This game needs heroic luck.
14's still good though.
I mean, a 14 isn't terrible.
No.
But when you're trying to talk down a $500 asking price,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not ideal. Let's put it that way. That was not the ideal result.
but she'll turn to you and just basically says, I do have to make money.
Understood.
I'm already cutting you a half price deal.
Well, let's just... I'm going to count however much money I have left over. What I spent previously, it was 175 and 5, so that's 180.
Out of the 755. And that's if Death didn't use some to make scrolls.
I had some. I used my own to make scrolls.
All right, so you still have a bit left over.
Yep. I have a whopping total of 13 minus 8 is 5, 6 minus 6 is 4, 30. Would you let it go for 430? It's close. And I'm going to empty it out I'm going to empty the bag out on her counter. I'm hiding nothing. It is turned inside out. It's 430 today, guaranteed. You don't have to wait for somebody else to maybe come in and buy it later.
I can tell whoever you're breaking out means a lot to you. I'll take it for 400.
All right, well, I'm going to scoop up that last 30 then. Thank you.
Just don't get yourselves killed.
Always try my best to have that not happen.
And you will get 4 Cure Light Wound Potions as well as the 2 Pyro's Desires.
Perfect. All right, well, in that case, I am going to skip going to Malik because I don't have any money to negotiate with. And that is my prime greasing item with somebody like that. Huh?
I mean, when not money, always favors. Who knows?
True, and I am always giving favors out. Giggity. Man, everybody will really, really not react well if I march in there with Malik, though. That is going to be way more of a problem than a benefit. Especially with Karrith. He'll kind of lose his shit.
I can't make a comment on it. I'm not there.
Yeah. Somebody might keep their ass in their cell just to be spiteful.
That's a big possibility.
Where I have no
but I'm
problem.
not there.
I have no problem using this guy to get in and out. And, you know, it's also, I mean, they might just, like, not make it out themselves. They might just have, like, a slip and fall incident and, like, land on their own dagger.
I'm not your dad.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yes, you are, Daddy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. To avoid the absolute shit show that I know would ensue, I'm going to skip Malik this time.
All right.
Because
No problem.
I know that would be a absolute shit show at the beginning, and then a absolute nightmare scenario once we get in all the way.
Okay.
It's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, all right.
Yeah, so I think I got enough. I'm gonna head back.
You begin to head back, and as you do, you will notice that Club scroll turns blue.
Yay!
Club is up and ready to go. Meanwhile, Karrith and Razzik, it's been a while. You've been waiting on Eelix to come back, and you're starting to get a little bit fidgety, Karrith. Razzik is snoring loudly.
Yeah.
And soon, Eelix comes out of the shadows and into the alley where you guys are held up. And the three of you are rejoined.
Good news, I hope.
So Nails isn't going to come help us. Not at least not here, not now. Can't blame the old man. He's just kind of lounging on the beach. If we make it out alive, though, he'll help us out. Hey, Razzik, I'm gonna wake up.
What?
Boom, boom vials. Hit these with fire, and they go boom.
Interesting.
Don't drink them.
Why would I do that?
I have no earthly idea. I also got some healing potions and a little bit of backup.
Just saying, if you guys never had that instant something, and your first instant reaction, almost like a gut reaction, was just like, and you just stopped, and you're like, I almost had a bad time, and then you put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit of backup as well. So I'm gonna take the scrolls out and do the thing and club Blondie Nikki.
Call them all right now.
Yeah.
All right. As you call out Club, you will be presented with a large ogre of a man. He is wearing a toga and is holding in his hand a club with a singular nail pierced through it. As he grows from this scroll and is now in front of you, this large creature, he looks at you, Eelix, and goes, Club!
Club follow, me tell bonk. You bonk what I say.
Club!
Good.
And Blondie and Nikki scroll, or Kimmy and Blondie scroll. Kimmy will be lit up, but Blondie is not yet. So I'm not sure if you want to wait on that one.
I'll wait on that one.
This guy.
This guy. We got more. I got another one, but if there's big monsters in there, he's got a big stick.
Club!
It's just not very... Club!
Club!
It's not very subtle, Eelix.
And neither are the boom boom vials that are going to make big explosions. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong, but I will say this. I think we should go in there fast enough.
Let's move, and let's get this party started.
All right.
Because, like you said, he's not very discreet, and we're standing out here with I'm assuming this guy's like 8 feet tall.
About
Yeah.
9, 10.
Yeah. Like, this is
Club.
not like the most. So, front door or side door?
Well, as the guards change, front door.
Front
All right.
door.
And we'll use one of those vials to blow the lock on the main door. And then I assume we'll use the second one to blow Nyphix's cell. At which point we head either straight back up and out or through the labyrinth, depending on guards who show up after the explosion. Since we don't know what that's going to look like, we're going to have to make the judgment call on the fly. Karrith, thank you very much for not running off and doing something rash.
I think
And
I
as
got
for
one
our...
up.
I'm sorry?
I said I think I got one up, pointing at the ogre.
I mean, in some ways, you're not wrong. As for our friend who decided not to help, I'd like it to be known that he is not our friend anymore.
He's really old. I'm not sure he would have been that much of help to begin with.
Yeah, am I going to have a mind to go to wherever he's at and burn his fucking house down?
It's made of sand. You might just do him a favor.
Maybe.
Besides, you know, he did say he'd get us hooked up after we got out of here, so we're just not getting direct combat support. We're getting the other kind of support, so...
Well, I guess if he's willing to do something, that's something. And in this situation, I guess we've got to take the help.
Yeah.
But damn. All right. So let's watch, and as soon as the shift changes, let's run in.
All right.
Sounds good. Club, follow.
Club!
Yeah.
And you guys rest up for a little bit longer before you... Watching Nate's just having a time. You guys wait for a little bit longer, waiting for the guards to change positions and get themselves all squared away. I really got to have Frail change out this bot for mine so that we have tense music and we can do tense.
Right. We need tension.
Because I have combat, exploration, and tavern. I played with this enough that I know that I can like. So, with that, as the infiltration group is beginning to make their move to come in, Nyphix, you sit in your jail cell. Your food was already cold when it was served to you, but it's just getting colder in case, if you want to eat it now. The night is drawn on. Unfortunately, underground, not really a good way how to tell time, but you're probably getting pretty fatigued and tired at this point in time. Did you want to take a nap at all?
No.
All right. So as you sit in your cell, you will begin to feel something's not right. Pit in the center of your stomach just starts to descend, and you hear footsteps coming down the hallway and see a glow. The glow seems to be moving as if somebody is waving it in the air or around. And soon that glowing stops at your cell door, and you will hear the lock turning and opening. And Roland steps into your cell. He has an item in his hand. It seems to be a short sword, and he is rubbing it on his face, on his neck, on his shoulders, and this sword is glowing as he pushes the door and it clicks with him in the cage with you. He hasn't said anything yet. He's no longer twitching.
Nyphix is just kind of, as he's kind of coming through that door, she's gonna stand up, kind of in defensive position, backing up. Like, this isn't normal, first off, and this is a very not okay situation that she's now found herself in.
You notice as he is rubbing this magical on himself, he is growing in size. His muscles are getting bigger. He's getting slightly taller. The same things that happened to Karrith as the worms are getting more pronounced inside of his body. And you see the smile creeping up on his face. And then you hear him as he turns to look at you and says, Isn't it nice to be human? Entirely human. And he keeps caressing himself with the sword, absorbing its magic. You look at him as he stares at you, murder in his eyes.
Wrong time, Death.
That was perfect.
Something slid out.
I would go check yourself. Like, that might need a courtesy wipe.
That wasn't me, bro. I was right.
Oh, okay. I just saw your green screen. And it just sounded like the wettest fart possible.
No. I was coughing because I was smoking.
Like, I'd claim that one if it was me, but that was not me this time.
I promise you, I will absolutely claim it if it's me. But no, I was just smoking. I was not.
Okay.
Not passing gas.
Okay. Is it nice to be human in a human?
Yep.
That's still Death's answer, though.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I feel about being human right now, outside of the game. So, yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, sorry. Back to the tension.
Way to diffuse my shit, Death.
Right?
I didn't mean to. I was just sitting here getting stoned. Right? I don't
just,
know what you're talking about.
I just want to say this. I hope I never get so old and boring that farts are not funny.
I'll agree with you on that one.
I mean, that's never going to happen to me, bud.
But he is caressing himself with this magical sword, absorbing its power, multiplying the worms that are in it. You are in danger. Your arms are still bound. The food's still behind you. I don't know if you ate it or not.
Mm-mm.
Time to eat it now.
No, I had a possible plan for it, but that's not coming to fruition here.
Roland doesn't seem to be Roland anymore. What do you do?
I mean, at this point, I guess my biggest thing is going to be trying to at least, for certain, at least get the damn sword away from him, because that's the biggest threat right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Convince him to stab himself. I don't get the magic more directly.
right. These worms unfortunately protect themselves, so they are not going to stab themselves. Do I... How wide and tall is this cell? Would you say?
The cell itself stands about maybe 5 feet tall that you're in. And it is essentially a walk-in closet, 15 by 15. Large walk-in closet.
They purposely put me in a fucking short ceiling cell on purpose.
A true bird cage, if you will.
Uh-huh.
And Sylvester's made his way in.
Well, I guess at this point, it's gonna be a matter of footwork, trying to keep out of his grasp and his range with that sword, and working my way around the cell to get it from him.
All right. So with that, you will note that the sword that he has is radiating like almost a flame sword that hasn't been turned on yet.
Yeah.
And as he proceeds to maneuver the sword to the side, he picks it up and over his one shoulder swings it down on you. What do you want to do for this first attack?
Put my arms up in between it, hoping that it hits the shackles.
Make a
Randy.
make a sleight of hand check or a reflex saving throw.
Oh, it's gonna have to be reflex. Because I don't have a sleight of hand. I swear to God, if that's a fucking 1.
That is a 1.
It's a 7. No, it's a 7. Plus
Oh,
3.
Oh, thank God. I was about
9.
to go, what the fuck, mama? Of all times right now, for one.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, I'm sorry I couldn't have you roll for me earlier.
Holy shit. The only reason why it looks like a fucking 1 is because the 1 is on the side. God. Swear to God, it's doing that shit on purpose.
So
Somebody needs moon cleansed.
So as you feel your soul drop out of your body, reflex saving throw.
Ooh. It was 7 plus 2, so 9.
Alrighty then.
That is statistically impressive.
You will take 9 points of damage. The locks shatter, but the blade comes down and sinks into your body and slices across you. You feel the blood oozing to the surface, a shallow cut, but still damage nonetheless. You are now free from your shackles and able to move about this chamber unshackled. What would you like to do as he warms up his next attack?
I'm actually going to go for a low body tackle.
All right, go ahead and make a CMB check.
Not with that fucking dice. Fuck that bullshit.
It's their time to shine! Think of Karrith when you roll one. Find one that looks like Karrith.
I just want to say I don't think it's the dice.
It's oh God.
Like sometimes the user is the problem. I hate to say it.
I can't look.
I saw it was an 8.
No, it's not. No,
I'm just saying,
no,
like, statistically, you'd be better to just roll an Albert.
It's a 3.
Oh, man. Roll an Albert, man. Save yourself.
I hate to say it, but Owlbear doesn't roll much better for her.
No, it rolls a lot worse. That's why we switched to this shit.
I let my dice tell the story.
Do you want to?
I no longer think I can control them.
You want to go like dunk your die in some holy water or some?
I'm gonna swallow them and shit them
piss
out.
on them? I don't know.
Shit dice. Fucking. They want to fucking be that painful. I might as well shit them out.
When's the next full moon?
That D4 is gonna hurt.
Our next game, I'm gonna be like, I need you to roll an attack roll. Mom's gonna be like, gotcha.
So that was, you said that was CMB?
CMB.
Yes. So add a 3. Fucking odds a 6.
You slam into this wall of. As you push and try to like pick him up and slam him on the ground, you feel the worms moving under his skin. Like you're holding a sack filled with maggots.
That's fucking disturbing. Oh my God,
that's the disturbing part, not the dice.
With that, make a dexterity saving throw with a disadvantage.
Oh, there's already disadvantage, man.
Yeah,
you can't be doing that.
I'll tell you what. You can make the roll with disadvantage, or you can make a will save and potentially be sickened. But you won't have disadvantage on the dexterity saving. You pick your poison. I'm gonna go grab my pen. There. I need beverages, and I don't have.
What is that?
13 and 14.
Oh,
okay,
shit.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And that was what the fuck? That was dexterity saving throw, so out of 1. So
All
14
right.
and 15.
So you slam into him, and you feel the worms move in body, and your first reaction is to be like, "Ugh," and then you feel the sword come up, and he goes to pierce it down straight into your spine. You dodge out of the way and watch as the tip of the sword pierces the stone. And then he starts struggling to pull the sword back up out of the stone. What will you do?
How close is the bucket?
You probably rolled over to it. Probably, like, literally right next to you. Given how this has been acting.
Can I grab it and put it over his head?
Or did you use it before you're doing this? Like, how...
I mean, how many hours has it been since I've been in here?
8.
Pour all those D20s on his
Then
head.
it's been used.
All right.
Oh, how used? Would you say it's been light used or heavy
Oh, we
used?
need to know!
Yeah, we don't need to go that far.
I'm sorry, Nate.
How well was it used?
Yeah, I just want to know what exactly I'm picturing in my brain.
Well,
What's the integrity of how well that was done?
I mean, it's been
However
8 hours.
Yeah, you can picture whatever you want to picture, but at some point in time, this goes from combat advantage to a kink, and we're trying not to hit the other zone.
We're trying to not get that K in here.
So,
I
no. Bad death.
You can't! No!
Bad death.
Just
down,
roll,
death
guess.
Just no!
So you grab hold of this bucket and slam it over his head. And as you slam it over his head, you see everything in it slam to the ground and over top of him as he proceeds to wrest the sword from the ground and begins pulling the bucket off of his head, wasting his turn. And at that moment, you hear from outside, shaking through the oubliette, and you do not know what it was. As outside team, you poured the Pyro's Desire into the lock and lit it with a spell. I need to know what spell you're lighting it with so that I know how much damage you for and whether it's substantial enough.
Let me see. I guess I will use Burning Hands, and I get +2 damage on that. So,
all right. So with a level 1 spell, hitting it with that spell, you're going to blow a hole in the lock that is roughly the size of a baseball, and you will be able to push open that one side of the door. But that echo is just going to go down the chamber like a tube. And you guys are now in with Club shortly behind you.
I am bolting in, and I am just trying to feel the tension against the underside of my skin of what tugs me towards Nyphix.
All right, so Karrith is leading the charge. Everyone else is following. All right, make a survival check, Karrith.
Okay. Survival. Never heard of her. That will be... just a flat 12.
Flat 12. All right. You are instantly into the ooze, and you hear the noises of the monster around you. That low grumbling, some of it just simply ecking at you like a cat staring at a bird from far away. You can tell that the hunt is on, and the creatures are searching. You find your way narrowly as you're going through the corridor, and one of the things that, as you're going through the corridor, you feel like it is a long pathway that you're starting to head down, and suddenly that pathway very quickly ends abruptly, and the three of you smash into the wall, and then Club smashes in behind all. And as he pushes away from the wall, he rubs his nose and goes, Club! And there's now just
no wall.
There's now suddenly a wall there that wasn't there before.
That's not good.
You start to look around, and even the pathways around you, there's just a back and a left.
is there some kind of knowledge check that we could make to better navigate this place?
Knowledge Arcane would probably tell you what just happened.
You want to roll me a d20? Tell me what you get.
Yeah. 11.
I got a 23.
23?
Yeah.
Whatever you stepped on was a teleportation trap.
Oh, lovely. There are traps in here. I cast and maintain detect magic.
All right. As you cast and maintain detect magic, you will notice that teleportation is all around you. It surrounds you. You are now stuck inside of the trap. You will see as if somebody tries to wander out of the trap, they'll wander out one side and then in the other. Inside this little L intersection.
Is there anything I could do to disrupt the magic of this thing?
Unfortunately, once you're inside the trap, dispel magic at a high level might do it. If you have that.
You don't get dispel magic until higher than level 4, bro.
However, you will also know that with magical traps, there's usually a knack for it, just in case somebody steps into it accidentally. What that knack is varies on the trap. If you guys figure out what the knack is, it might let you out.
So there's a trick to this play.
Yeah, because when we were looking, we had a left and a back.
How about a perception check? Would that give us something? Let's try that.
Unfortunately, at this point in time, I'm no longer challenging your character. I'm challenging your character. I'm challenging the player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So you said there was back and left, right?
Yep.
I'm going to walk backwards towards back.
Okay. I didn't think someone was going to crack it that quick, but as you walk backwards towards the back path, you will step out of the teleportation zone. You are now back in that straight hallway.
All right. I'm going to try to find a new pathway real quick. See if I can still feel where Nyphix is at.
And with that, the rest of you could also Karrith's example as well.
Definitely.
There are other traps in here that will have issues in other ways, but we will approach those when we get there.
Well, I'm keeping detect magic up, so if they're magical traps, I hope I get an opportunity to see them.
Yep.
And then hopefully we can avoid them.
All right, so Karrith, you find another path relatively quickly. And as you begin heading down that path, Razzik will alert you that you are to step into another trap. And Razzik, you notice an auric field in this particular hallway. This is the longer you study it, you'll notice that it's 2 overlaid spells. These spells, remember, the longer that you stay in an area, the faster the creatures will be coming on top of you. However, the longer you stay, the more knowledge you're going to gain on the spell. So how long do you guys want to deal with it?
Is there a way? Do I see a way for us to move past it without triggering it?
You'd have to go back, and at this point in time, you hear that behind you, followed by a very sonorous.
That's disturbing. I assume it's dark in here?
Fairly, but I mean, the only one who's really struggling with he's going by quick maneuvering and worm logic. Which, I mean, technically, worm logic is burning through walls. This result. So, you know.
Well, if anybody thinks they're capable of burrowing through walls, tell us now.
So you're telling me you can't figure out this aura check?
I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying I was looking for a way to just avoid it because we don't have time. So
You have stayed here long enough that you get 2 schools, Abjuration and Illusion.
okay, so I got the schools of magic. It's an illusion and abjuration situation. I don't see a way to pass it without going back. So we can either try to push through it or go back. What do you guys want to do?
Fuck it, I'm going into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's just go forward.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go forward.
He's already been antsy outside. He's been waiting. He's just now like, fuck it, if this is what it's got to be, and he's pushing through.
As you and Eelix run through the spell, you will hear the chiming begin, and you take steps that feel like you're running on a treadmill. Before too long, Karrith, you are presented with Karrith. And Eelix, you are presented with a shadow. A shadow that is the same height as you and amorphous in dimensions.
Okay.
They interpose between your path. Both of them, weapons drawn.
Clear the illusion magic's working here. I do not know, however, if the abjuration is giving the illusion substance or not. And if it is, those weapons could potentially harm you.
So, what do we do?
I mean,
Well, I'm gonna pull my weapons out.
yeah.
I have just a couple daggers on me.
And you will see that the other Karrith also has just daggers.
I'm gonna pivot myself right, looking at him.
He watches you. Doesn't move.
I step toward him.
As you step towards him, he stepped towards you in response. And you can tell that the position is angry, blaming. And soon that one step becomes 2. 2 becomes 3. And now that shadow is full scale blitzing at you with malicious intention.
I run at it the same way.
With
Can I
that,
attack it when I get close?
absolutely. I'm assuming you're both going.
Okay. Yeah. Watch its AC be better than mine.
And as for you, Eelix, yours, as it's looking at you, you'll watch as it reaches into its robe and pulls out a mask, a pure white mask. And as it slides the mask over its face, it transforms into your current persona.
Yep.
And then it looks at you and goes, "Not really our fight. You want to hang this one out?"
What was that?
"Not really our fight. You want to hang this one out?"
I'm gonna humor it for a minute. Listen,
I'd hate to hurt us.
I hate to hurt us too. I'm gonna see where this goes.
All right. And Razzik, are you proceeding to head in?
Yes.
Right now I have you outside of the...
Yeah, I had in.
Razzik, as you proceed to head in, your illusion presents itself as yourself as well. However, this version of yourself is dripping from its eyes and from its ears and its nose and its mouth almost magmatically. And you will watch as the eyes start burning red and flames start licking off of the side. And you'll watch as he hawks up a lug, spits it, and fire just engulfs on the ground for a second before it goes away.
Nice trick.
Yeah. Shame there can only be one of us. Let's see which one gets to survive. And he claps his hands together and begins forming a flame ball that you recognize as searing missile. The searing missiles, scorching rays.
I sit down on the ground, I close my eyes, and I center myself.
All right. So with that, both Karriths will end up connecting with each other. You will probably do more damage than I have. I've done 1 plus your strength mod, which I believe is
1d4. There was no AC to hit, huh?
the AC is the same as yours.
Okay, then I definitely hit that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that plus 4 is 6.
Which I dealt you for in return. So I'm going to really quickly
Okay.
do a mirror and connect these 3 here, and then paste, so that we have our opponents. And since we know who we are, you said 6 damage. So boom. Razzik and Eelix's name, so we have our enemies paste. Also, I'm going to cut over here to Nyphix so that I can put the monster that she's up against her. And I will also ask the group that, hey, it is now 11 o'clock. This is a pretty damn good cliffhanger. If you guys want once more the battles to save each other and save ourselves at a roaring, a roaring climactic go. You guys want to hold it here until the next Tuesday we meet, or do you guys want to keep going and see if y'all can?
I think this is a good place.
If Nate wants to stop, then we should probably stop.
That's fine. Got a quick question for you, though.
Sure.
My manacles broke, but are they off?
No, he just broke the chain.
Shit. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you put your wrists in the way, you'd be missing hands. So I didn't think you wanted to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking they're broken. I was wondering if they had managed to, like, if they were chains, or if they like the metal ones that when they break apart in the middle, they actually like fully decuff.
No, you could probably use them as whips, honestly.
I was more thinking if they're broken apart, if they still have the magical binding.
Oh, there's nothing. You are no longer magically. Spells are free to use. Once a magic item is shattered, the magic goes out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna use a sound burst to see if I couldn't bust the whole front of this damn cell open.
I mean, I would love to see that being for the end of it.
Okay, I'm gonna end the recording.
Yeah.